morning, campers. We're going to make a campfire. First thing we do, make sure we got all of our campfire tools. First tool we want is a shovel. Before we begin, we're going to check, see how much ashes there are. If the ashes in your pit's too deep, you can't make a safe fire. This metal ring keeps all the sparks inside, so you won't set fire to the surrounding forest. This one here looks to be a little bit deep. I think we ought to remove a little bit of it, but before you do, we need to see if it's hot or not. Dig down in there a little bit. No, nice and cold. Been sitting all night, that's good. I carry 2 buckets with me. Actually, I carry another metal bucket for ashes. But dumb me, I left it home. We'll use one this morning. Get out some of these ashes. Try not to make a mess. Guess my gloves will come in handy. Like we're down about 6 inches, got us a nice, safe working area. We'll dump this in the dumpster. Next, we want to use our rake. National Forest Service said they want to see this cleaned up about 3 feet. I think I need to put my screw in. I never have before. Now these days, you get campfire, firewood. Occasionally you'll get split wood, but more often than not, you're going to get 2x4s. The bow saw is an excellent tool to use to cut that wood. Hardware carries it. I'll give you a tip about this saw. Always carry a spare blade, because you're going to buy this saw, you're going to use it for a few years, you're going to bend to break the blade, you go back to where you bought it, they're not going to sell that model anymore, and they won't have the blade. Buy you 1 or 2 blades, doesn't hurt. And you see what I did? Just a simple piece of radiator hose, nice and thick. I split it. It protects the you from the teeth of this blade. Very sharp, and it just and it'll go right through the branches. than not, what you're going to get is 2x4s, and that's where a axe comes in. Of course, the axe is also handy with a limb in the forest. You can whack off all the little ones before using your saw to cut it to appropriate length. Now, when I was younger, the way I did a fire, I'd walk around the forest floor and I'd look for the smallest twigs I could find. This one's awful big. Here's one. See how tiny that is? If you can even get smaller ones, that's even better. But in a national park or state park, they catch you picking up stuff off the floor, a flower, a rock. They'll chase you down the mountain with a stick. So you can't do that, but you can do that in national forests like we are here. But as I've gotten older, I don't do it like that anymore. Anyway, these pine needles too make a good starter. I used to have a contest with myself. I used to use wooden kitchen matches to start my fires. They work excellent. But the contest I would have to see if I could start my fire with one match. I did occasionally, but more often than not, it took more than one. These days, as I'm older, I love these things. I think they're actually designed to light a stove, but they're excellent for campfires or even your fireplace at home. So let's get some firewood. What you want to do, just like that small twig, when you start, you want to use a very small piece. So I want to cut real thin. Not that's too thick. Well, try not to cut your hand open. That'll get it started. So these days, instead of little twigs and pine needles, I use newspaper. It works much better. Oh. I use 4 double sheets. Wad it up tight as you can. That's a single. Now, here's another tool, it's real handy. This is called a reacher. Sold at the hardware store. You're reaching up on a tall shelf to get a can of peas or whatever. Well, they come with rubber suction cups on the end. And they burnt real bad the first few times I used it, so I replaced it with little pieces of aluminum metal to pick up your fire stuff while your fire is burning. Position that piece of firewood exactly where you want it. It'll save you a lot of burnt fingertips. Scorched hair on your arm. Alright, let's see what we got here. I'm going to split down a couple more of these. Even small. picking up debris around the campfire. You always find some, right like so. Works very good. Now, there's one more step before we light our flame. We want some fire water. No, not whiskey. This is water to fight the fire with. In California, your campfire, you're held responsible. If it gets out of hand and starts a forest fire, you're in trouble. Let's get some water real quick. All right, let's put this bucket over here. Just like a fire extinguisher. You don't want to put your fire extinguisher right next to where you might have a fire, so you want it over there. In case you do have a problem, this thing is too big, you won't be able to get to your bucket of water. The flame will be too hot. Put it over there a little bit, but keep it handy. All right. Start this newspaper going. Now this wood here came from Home Depot. That bundle of firewood, 2x4s they give you, at most of these parks, seems to keep getting smaller and smaller, and the price keeps getting higher and higher. So a few years ago, I went to Home Depot and I priced it. The cheapest 2x4s they had is 92 1/4 inches. I cut that into 6 pieces. Went to the gas station in their dumpster and found some boxes that motor oil came in, and you can fit exactly 19 pieces of firewood. The pieces come out to be 15 and an 1/8 inch or something a piece. Anyway, the cost per piece and all that comes out to be cheaper than it is at the campground. And it's worked real well. Go ahead and put away our tools here. Stick right there. Keep your shovel handy in case you need it. Of course you shouldn't right here. Everything should be okay. When the campfire starts crackling and snapping and popping, and it pops out a spark, they call that a firebrand. And I've seen them. They will really shoot out a long distance. It's always scared me. That'll happen. That thing will go way up into a tree and land at the end of a dry branch. Even with all my water, it'd be out of my reach. There's nothing I can do. What I've thought of, but I've never done it. Let's go to Toys R Us and get one of those super soaker water cannons. Fill it with water. That'd do it. But I never have done that. I should. I should also bring my metal container. but we all just do the best we can, don't we? All right, campers. When we get done here, what we're going to do, we'll let the fire die down when we're finished with it. We're going to pour in our water and use our shovel, stir it around. Make sure that there's no hot sparks. Oh, it may smolder and smoke quite a bit, and that's okay. You just don't want to see any live sparks. That's what I was talking about, firebrands. Go popping and going off into the trees. Don't leave your campfire unattended. Right now, if I got to go in and use the bathroom or got to leave it, I call my wife. Somebody's watching this fire all the time. It just makes me mad as hell how many campfires I find burning and nobody's around. People left camp. Aggravates the hell out of me. And we got to protect it. It's a beautiful place. It provides jobs and water, habitat for all the wildlife. Beautiful place for us for relaxation and recreation. Great playground. But not if it's burnt to the ground. It's not much fun at all. All right, campers. We'll see you next time.